Yo, what's good? What's good in the hood? Like literally nothing. Um, so back at it again, as always. Do some live market tests. Well, actually, we were looking for buyers inside of here. So, I mean, technically, I can click the replay mode. We were actually at this point in the market. Uh, we were basically looking at this as full-on SC, so this Saturn Climax, which is essentially this, and we're looking at this zone, obviously. So we highlighted our equilibrium, which was basically within here, and then we realized we mitigated and we basically almost liquidated this wick here, which is basically the lowest point. And we're like, nah, we're looking for buys at this point. So we were just looking, seeing for some, seeing if we could like in any way, just adjust this, if in any way that we could see some pushes up. So obviously on this 15 minute we didn't get much. Okay, so we're being, look at those, beautiful. So on this 5 minute we actually have what? We have this zone, which is basically highlighted this. This was the low point, this is where I got to. Now obviously this is the breaker structure up from this candle here, which creates basically this validation on this, I think it was the 15 minute. Yeah, good night mom. So we had the validation on the 15 minute, so we were waiting for what? Retest inside of what? Potential zones on this 5 minutes. So again, we can either, well, I mean at this point we understand that, we understand that this zone is likely to hold. You could essentially take a long off of the validation of this, meaning here with your stop loss below this low, and then taking your price to new highs, right, up to here or wherever it is you want to take it, and then potentially higher, right? But risk to reward wise, it's only a 2, right? And you might want a higher RR just because you get more profit, right? So what can you do? Again, you can find another zone. Watch that. We got this, or we got this, right? Which is it's this with this, that, and then you can refine it to what? 50%. And where does that 50% line up to? This zone. So if anything, you would most likely be targeting this area rather than this area, in my opinion, at that point. So then I've found out where I'm looking for buys from. Okay, we go down to the 1 minute. What do we have? Okay, pretty simple, but like literally we have price tap in and what? Create some new demand. Okay, we break. Okay, but we're basically looking for a break in this level now, which we get, and immediately you can take a long with your stop loss underneath either this, or as we already understand, this, with our thingy taken up to here, which obviously is higher than a 1 to 2. It's 1 to 4, so it's double the amount. Now you can also wait. So if we just play price action off of this, okay, what do we have? Well, now we have failed push, so we've got to be patient. What do we get? We get this push. Okay, cool. So we've created what? New demand potentially. Okay, but we can go back to the 5 minutes just to establish things, but again, nothing here. So you could either be taking a trade off of here, or we could be looking to take another trade off of here. Okay, so what do we have? Well, now we're what? Testing this zone right here, which we got created. And then when we display up and we break above, what does that mean? It means that we can take a long from here and have our stop loss where? Underneath here, with our target being the exact same location as our other one. Okay, which gives us this. Now you can manage one trade differently, so you could maybe partial to, I don't know, this high or whatever. Depends on what you want to do, but that is essentially the how you're going to trade it. And then obviously it runs. Now I think it might come back down to test and then actually go higher from here. As we can see, now we've got the 5 minute. You could also use what? Demand zones from here. So we have one here, and then we can what? Wait for either potential retest, or as we already understand, we haven't mitigated this zone, but we could be coming back, or we could alternatively be looking for what? Mitigation inside of this, but then we could also refine to potentially a 50% equilibrium zone, right? So we could be actually refine into this zone right here, to then what? wait for buys off of this. But obviously currently price is here, so these two trades, patience. But overall, as we can see on this, it's going up, right? So you could literally just be waiting on this, camping on this time frame on here, waiting for buys off of here or deeper. But the overall expectation again is relatively basic, and that is that I mean, technically you could be trying to take a long from here to take this high within here or whatever, but you wouldn't take it just like that, obviously. S&P 500, I haven't really traded this much like recently. I don't really trade S&P. I've been trying to, just because it moves nice, well, for the most part. This is just a big ass candle up here, so we've probably got some demand created down here. I don't even know what we've got, but we've got something. Can I go on S&P 500? Can I use a different thing? Indices. It'll be this one. This one. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. There we go. That's better. You can see it now. Pouring down the rain now. Okay, yeah. So we can see that on this S&P 500, we've actually broken this high. On the daily, again, we are bullish as fuck. Super bullish. We have got demand inside of here, so we could be waiting for, again, 50%, which we can refine down to here, which we've already mitigated, by the way. So we got this close and we mitigated, and now we're running a bit higher. So again, we go down to like a 1 hour, for instance. What do we have? We have the mitigation, and then what do we have? New zones created off of these. Okay, cool. So we could either have this whole zone, or we could subjectively push it to, I don't know, this or this. But in my opinion, personally, I would have probably this zone here. Actually, no, I'd have this zone here. Personally, I think there's a higher probability the price comes down into this zone. Yeah. So essentially, we could be looking more or less for shorts, but again, we don't understand how. Like, you're not going to short when the market's going up, are you? So simply, just because there's a good chance of it going down does not mean it's going to, right? But if we look at this, yes, we have got a creation of this supply, but we fail on this 30 minutes. So if we go to the 15 minute, again, we have creation of supply here. So it essentially becomes this move right here to what potentially sell from. Now again, you could be refining it to about 50%, which is roughly here, to come and take these lows. But again, I wouldn't be looking for sales, I'd only be looking for buys. So that means, if anything, I'm looking to either take it from here or from here, but I'm looking to wait regardless, which is perfectly fine. Now EU, I think EU is being very bullish. I think earlier on we were looking at it, and we were actually looking to buy off of one of these ones up here. I think it was on the 4 hour we're looking at it. 4 hour. Okay, yeah, so I think it was up until this point. Yeah, so we had this validation of this, so we kept putting in bullish structure, so we were anticipating that essentially we would hold this point and then we would go higher. Now obviously at these points of mitigation, and we're looking for these zones to hold, maybe this point we're looking for buys, but the point we got to was we validated this supply, we broke this zone in the next hour, and then at this point this was basically the low, I think. No, this point, my bad, because it tapped into what? These wicks, but obviously you don't count this wick, you don't count this wick, you count this wick, right? That being the deep retracement inside of it, and then you're looking for buys inside of this. So when you go down to like a 5 minute, right, where can you actually take a trade? Like if you look at this chart, where can you take a trade? Well, firstly, when price taps in, do we have any demand created? Not here. We come down, right? We come down and then bang. We can either use this as the validation, right here. So like that, and then we're just waiting for price to retest into this to go higher, or again alternatively, waiting for it to test deeper. Okay, but we've already shown our zone, so this one doesn't really matter. Okay, it's actually going to be this one. Now, as we can see right now, we have created new structure higher. So again, we're going to be patient, but when we see a break in structure higher, we could either take that immediately, or we could be patient, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, and around about this point, where we saw this create this rally, and also this zone right here, which was basically mitigated, if it breaks, then obviously a bit more bearish into this deeper zone, but if it holds, which it looks like it actually has, because that looks quite equal, then we could be taking more highs. And then when we see this break, even this break here simply, we can actually take, believe it or not, this trade up like this, essentially. Understanding, well, spreads and shit, but understanding that we're bullish on an overall. So actually, where is our target? Well, our target's going to be this high. And then if you notice, I think this might actually fail. Yeah, I think this failed just before it ran, which is completely fine. So you take that one loss, okay, and then you create some new demand, okay, and then we also notice that this zone holds. So this is why, if we go back to here, you might have actually wanted to choose this as your stop loss, which either would have stopped you out, or you'd still be in it, and then you'd be running a 1 to 13, and then I believe that it starts to run. If we actually click the play, no, it doesn't. Okay, awesome. This is actually a brilliant example of patience, because it was essentially displaying higher, and this is like a mini, this whole zone. So from here to here, this is what you call a redistribution. Actually, a distribution. My bad. No, yeah, distribution, and then accumulation down here. Yeah, so yeah, that was a beautiful distribution, because you had this liquidation and this final liquidation and this breakdown into this right here. So yeah, we were actually waiting for this zone, so we could have been looking for buys into here to take maybe up to here, whatever. But then obviously it stopped. Okay, cool. Now what we're looking for? We're looking for buys again. Cool. So what do we have? This. Okay, cool. If we just follow price action, okay, we created this, right? We break down, okay, we follow it here. We can either be waiting for it to break this, or we can follow off of this previous one. So validate here, might have lost that one there, right? Price goes up, okay, comes here, breaks higher, okay. Now at this point I'd possibly be waiting, okay, and I think that now it starts to rally higher. But essentially you could have taken by the looks of things, as soon as it got up, we didn't get the rally into it, unfortunately, so that's a bit of shit. So you could actually be looking to retake entries inside of this. So again, we don't get any entries, unfortunately, but we could also be looking for entries inside of here now. Believe it or not, break up, break down. Okay, breaks down completely, awesome. Looking for buys in here, because this is, again, unmitigated, so it's likely to hold, remember? High confluence. And we can either take a buy immediately, like this, understanding that this zone will hold, and your target can be here, and wherever. Like, that is valid. Or you could be more patient and wait for a retest to see if it actually holds or not. But both are valid. Okay, and then go to 5 minute. Let's see what we got. Yeah, buys inside of here. So price, the lowest it can go is break even. So buys inside of here. We're currently inside of buy zones, but it could go a little bit deeper, and now we could be looking for buyers at this point. So right here we've created a fresh demand. Then we test deep. Okay, cool. Break down. Okay, cool. We might just get stopped out here. Shit, we get stopped out. Okay, that's fair. And we might actually be targeting these, yeah, 50% zones. So again, we're looking for more buys. And again, like I said, that's why you wait for the retest. You don't just immediately take it, because when it does retest, it basically fails, right? So you create this zone. Now you wait for a push down like this, and then you get this push up, and then you're almost immediately validating this, saying that you want to be starting to take this up. And then if we play, it should start to go higher, okay? Because we understand the momentum behind that, and then also you can just trail it and do whatever the fuck you want with it, but that should start to run a little higher now. Drop down into obviously this zone. This one's quite obvious to hold, you can kind of see that. No mitigation, and then mitigates, rallies higher, and then where's that on mitigation? Here again, rallies higher, and again we rally higher and higher. Okay, that's very simple, and that was all done within what, an hour. So yeah, so if you took a few losses down here, maybe even 3, you would be up still 3.5 for the day, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so what are we doing on here? Let's have a look. 5 minutes. Got nothing to work with right now. I'm still looking for it. I mean, we were inside of this zone, remember? Like this, like, hold on, let me highlight it. This is our zone, okay? But we did mitigate, or we did refine it down to here, because we want higher probability. But yeah, I'm done the video here. I'm done. See you motherfuckers tomorrow. Yeah, so peace.